Hey guys, what's up? I'm here to give you guys a recap on a new episode of ReZero Starting Life in Another World on Season 2 on episode 34 or episode 9, which is Season 2 alone. That aside, this episode right here showed a lot of information, not to mention the way how it ended, along with that other scene, which I'm pretty sure if you guys have kept up with ReZero from the very beginning, like many years ago, you know what I'm talking about, up to present time. Those of you guys who are binge watching, who's planning to binge watch the entirety of Season 2 once it's done, be glad you're doing that because guarantee, every week will kick the living out of you. Okay, that aside of me rambling on and making you cringe, let's just get this started. We had to it that Natsuki Subaru talks to Echidna about his situation, and she's really shocked about this and tells him about the information about the return by death, Eventually, after I'm telling him that there's no limit, etc., and she gave this to you for, I don't know what the reason is, but it looks like to me you are to possibly restart at a certain checkpoint to make sure things are going well in terms of fate and destiny, making sure it's going the right way, and that it doesn't matter about who you lost, because if they are not really important to your goal, then they're nothing really important to your goal or your true objective. That aside, we have too that Subaru was trying to figure out about tells her about being eaten alive by the freaking white rabbit, By that time, Echidna tells Subaru that thing multiplies infinitely, and if you want to kill it, you have to destroy all of it at the same time, because that thing can multiply without end, non-stop, keeps going. Pretty much, it can multiply indefinitely without stopping it. So if you want to destroy this thing or kill it, you have to eliminate the entire thing. She even informs them about the great whale and the great rabbit and some other creature, which I forgot, forgive me, were created by the Witch of Gluttony, Daphne, And we have to it that Subaru was trying to calculate how to do this because, one, he has to get to Rosewall's mansion because, that crazy gut-cutting woman is there. Not to mention a beast is over there. Two, the rabbits end up mowing down the entire town, And three, he only has about 4 days or a limited time to try to get this done. And he asks Echidna for help, any idea what I can do exactly, And we have to it that Echidna has a recommendation, but she advises against it. She says, if you want to destroy this thing, you're going to have to ask Daphne herself. But it might be a little risky because of what's going to happen. Although Subaru says, I'm going to go with the flow and ask her directly, because that's my only hope. If no one else is able to help me out, she's the only one that can help answer my question. I don't know who else can do it besides me or anything else. And we have to it that Echidna decides to give Subaru a couple advice. 1, do not touch her. 2, do not remove the restraints. 3, avoid eye contact with her. Otherwise, things could just go bad in multiple ways, and this is a world in dreams that you can't die, etc. And before Subaru meets Daphne, the Witch of Gluttony, we have to it that he meets Typhon, a little lolly witch girl that rips him to pieces and says, oh, you're not a bad guy, and ends up flying off. But not before Subaru gets reconnected after being busted into pieces by a witch of wrath, Minerva. And it looks like to me these witches don't seem bad at all, which is to my shock. I mean, it may seem bad because of their names, but in terms of designs, they don't seem all that bad. I know I'm saying it's really stupid and boring and vague, but they don't seem like bad people to me, and even though they have the names of witches in their names, But finally he ends up meeting Daphne, who apparently is tied to a coffin, etc., which seems very bad, but at the same time she decides to help out Subaru and says that she created the white whale and the rabbits so everyone could get their bellies filled up, That way they don't go too hungry, etc., and nothing bad will happen to them. However, Subaru says, yeah, unfortunately, your damn creatures are causing mischief, trouble, and death all over the dang world right now. So, I'm gonna ask you, can you help me defeat one of them? I already dealt with your fish. Now it's time to deal with the freaking rabbits. And we have to it that Daphne, without hesitation or reluctance, tells Subaru, you have to gather it to one spot. If you could gather a lot of powerful magic, it will go there. And by that time, if you have something to destroy all of them at once, then they're all dead at once. That's it. And Subaru's like, you sure you want to tell me this right now? Because, I am planning to get rid of them. And she says, I don't care. I mean, like, what else could what far side else could happen, She doesn't really care much about that. But that aside, Subaru says, well, I can tell you I am going to get rid of this thing. You hear me? And we have two. She says, well, if you're capable of doing that, I wish you the best of luck. And of course, she just leaves after Subaru asks us questions and ends up talking to Echidna again. Eventually, Subaru says, look, I want to remember all this, so any price I have to pay, I'm willing to pay it. Just let me remember this. And we have two that Echidna says, okay, I'll let you do this. But at the same time, Subaru says he wants to see her again if he ever has the chance to. But Echidna tells Subaru, coming to a witch's tea party is not some easy feat, okay? Or easy task. I mean, you managed to get to me the second time, but the third time it might be way difficult than the last two, Although Subaru doesn't understand, but he wants to find a way how to get to her in case if he needs to ask her for help when the situation comes to it. And she says, well, if you want to see me the third time, just say it in your deep heart or something all together, then I'll see you. Though, Subaru also tells Echidna that he will go through her trials, because, I don't know, this might be the only time that he's able to see her, or maybe, maybe to get everyone out of there. I don't know. But one thing for sure, Subaru is forced to wake up because something outside is disturbing him of his sleep in the dreamland, Talking to Echidna. But that aside, we have to it that Subaru is to give up the handkerchief that he has on his arm whatsoever. But he says, okay, whatsoever. But we have to it that he finally wakes up after that and he remembers everything. Then he says, what's going on here? And he ends up going outside and realizes that there's a bunch of black stuff or miasma, or should I say those black fog things, ends up consuming around the graveyard that he's part of, And he's trying to wonder what's happening here. And all of a sudden, we had to that some strange figure comes to Subaru and says, I love you, I love you, I love you. And by that time, this thing ends up embracing him. And we have to that Garfield shows up and saves Subaru in the nick of time. And Subaru's like, what the hell are you doing here? And Garfield's like, what? Is this any way to say thank you or something? Or you got a problem? And we have to it that Subaru realizes that this person that's causing this black fog is the freaking witch of envy, And we have to it that Subaru realizes that this thing is trying to go after Rosewall's mansion. And Garfield's like, what the hell are you talking about? And we have to it that Subaru says, I'm going to stop you once and for all. You hear me? Etc. Then there's a post-credit scene that Rosewall says, man, this is bad. I don't even get to see the results of the trial. And we have to it that Rosewall says, if you want to go to hell, I shall accompany you. If you want to live through this hell, then I'll do my best to live up to that hell. And we have to it that Rosewall even tells him to this words make sure you don't make this, try not to make any mistakes next time, Natsuki Subaru. And he ends up being consumed by the black fog or black Miyamasa or something, and the episode ends off there. So yeah, anyways, this episode shows a lot of information about the witches, such as Typhon, and then Minerva, and then Daphne. She is the one that created the creatures of the White Whale, the Great Rabbit, and some other creature, which I don't bother remembering because maybe that creature may have a role to play later. But that aside, yeah. Subaru found some ways maybe to possibly defeat the white rabbit that knows how to multiply indefinitely. And not to mention, he sees the Witch of Envy and realizes that it's there and knows where it's going, etc. And it looks like to me Rosewald tells Natsuki Subaru not to make any mistakes next time. So he may have an idea about Natsuki Subaru's ability, but who knows? It looks like to me there's a lot to understand and to go off from, but whatever. Anyways, this is going to be one hell of a thing for our Subaru, and there's only a couple episodes left, you know? I mean, there's 10, 11, 12, 13. I think there's supposed to be about, like, 13 episodes shown up for the first part. Then the second part is supposed to, like, show up in the beginning of 2021 or something, from what I understand and researched on. That aside, yeah. This is going to be one hell of a thing going on, but guess we're about to find out soon enough. So, until then, peeps, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm Alpha Zero. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toot-toot-toot!